Okay, so we are live, which is
Yay!
which is very exciting. The or should be live, should be live. We might be hitting a little tech problem. Um, Let me jump online because it's not showing on YouTube for some reason. Um, Let me see if it's at least on LinkedIn. Always a delight when tech problems start. Let us see. Well. How interesting. I don't think it's working. Oh no, it says live. It says live. I lied. It's just there's a long broadcast delay, I think. All right, so enough of the blah blah blather blah blah blah. Right, so technical problems aside, there were a group of people that were showing up tonight. What this is about is that everybody gets stuck sometimes. So every single week, what I do is I have a session where you tell me where you're stuck, and then you tell me what you want and where you're stuck. Hi, whoever just joined, can you hit your mute, please? Marie, can you hit your mute, please? So I'm just going to mute her there. All right, so back to it. So the point of what this is like everybody gets stuck sometimes. So we all want something, and then we get blocked, and then how we react to it, and is basically clearly, obviously, the future we're going to get. We're either going to have a meltdown about it, or we're going to find a way to become powerful and sort of work our way through. And so what this whole thing is about helping people break through where they get stuck, but do it in not only quickly, but in a way where they can see exactly what is happening for themselves, and then repeat it afterwards. Because too many times, we'll take some coaching, and what happens is, we get some great ideas, but then, we don't do anything with it, and nothing changes in our lives. So, what's always vitally important whenever you get some ideas or coaching or whatever it is, you want to then immediately apply it, and so you can have the experience of something changing in the world. And that's really the only way that any of these things are going to stick, because otherwise it becomes an idea that flitters off to nothingness. Now, who I am is, my name is John McLean Foreman. I was a narrative director in the game industry, and then I got into self-development and behavior training. And you'd actually be amazed at the number of crossovers there are between the two industries. So, anybody who wants to participate in the future, this is open to absolutely anybody. And if you want to watch, you can sit in the background. You can watch on YouTube. You can watch on LinkedIn. You can watch on Twitch later. And if you want to participate, then what you need to do is you need to contact me. And there will be a series of just 5 questions. It's like, what do you want? Why is this important to you? Where are you getting stuck? How do you normally try and deal with that problem? And how effective is that method right now? So there's always going to be 5 questions. And what that does is that gets you not only present to what you're aiming at, but it gets you present to why it matters, what you actually care about. And so when you have that combination of I want something and I get blocked, that's a space where you're going to have some absolutely amazing breakthroughs. It's always very painful, but this is the space that if you can deal with this space and jump into this space regularly, then you're going to have brilliant moments in life. Right? The more you can do it, the bigger the things that happen. All right. So, Marie, welcome. Nice to see you here. So what we're going to do is you were here last week, and we didn't get a chance to get to you. So we're going to spend a little time on what you're dealing with right now, okay? And is it okay for you if I write down or if I repeat what you wrote to me? Is that okay? I'm going to unmute you now.
That's for me, John.
Yeah, that's you.
Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. That's okay.
Okay, cool. Alrighty. So when I asked everybody, is just give them the simple questions like, what do you want, and where are you getting stuck? And your answers were that you're very stressed because you can't seem to complete any of your tasks, and with anything, and you feel it has to do with menopause, and that's where you're getting stuck. And now the results that you wanted, of course, is that you want to be able to function better in everyday life. Yeah. And then the benefits of that is like, why is this important to you? Is because your business will be better, your family life will be better, you'll be socializing becomes easier. Okay, so we're going to dig into this because there's I've got the sense of what you're dealing with, but I don't have the depth of what you're dealing with yet. And by no means am I a medical professional, so anything that you're dealing with that is that a doctor needs to deal with, then you need to consult with them. What my feedback is going to be behavioral training while you're dealing with something that's uncomfortable. Okay, so can I ask you some questions?
Okay, sure.
Okay. So let's go into your answers again. So you said you're stressed and you can't seem to complete your tasks. So can you tell me a little bit about what you mean by that? So you can't you can't complete any task that you take on, or you can't complete your entire task list? Like what's happening exactly?
Write the list. Then I'll write a list,
Mm-hmm.
and then I cannot complete the list, John.
Oh, okay, because that's different. If you can't complete any task versus you're not finishing your task list. Okay, that's slightly different. I want to make sure that's what you're saying. You're able to
Yes, I
complete.
cannot finish the list. The list
Okay.
itself, where I'll do some, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm not able to complete the list.
Okay. So let's say you had 10 things on your list that you had to do, and you only got 7 done. That would leave you frustrated, I guess.
Right, because and then not even seven, sometimes even five, and then I'm gonna do something else that is not on my list.
Okay. And do you use it as a distraction, or you go, oh, I need to do this too?
Yeah, it's distraction. It's not a distraction. It's like something else was there
Mm-hmm.
to be done, but I
Mm-hmm.
didn't put that on the list sometimes. And sometimes I
Okay.
just up and leave what I'm doing, John, and go on to do something else.
Okay. This is very very normal, by the way. So if had you said that you can't focus on any task and you can't complete any task, we would have had a very different kind of conversation than I cannot complete my task list. Completing a task list, it's a very different thing. So actually not being able to complete your task list is a much easier thing to deal with. So let us get into some more details. Now, because you brought up menopause, that suggests that you feel that in the past you were always able to finish your task list before you hit menopause. You, like you said, I'd get this stuff done and everything got done. Is that correct?
Yes, John, I used to get things done and, don't
So
get this frustrated. But I mean, trust me. And
okay, do you feel that you're slower now? Because one of the things we want to sort of dig into is your perception of things. Because one of the things that happens with humans is we don't react to what's happening. We react to what we feel about what's happening. So in the past, it's entirely possible that in reality you got less done than you do now, but your feelings at the time were, wow, I'm getting everything done. Right? It's like, I mean, because maybe now you've got way more tasks, way more responsibilities,
yes,
way more
yes,
distractions, right?
yes,
And
yes.
so you've now got a bigger amount of work to do,
Mm-hmm.
and you're trying to, and you're measuring it on the same scale, and that's not really fair. It's like
Oh.
you're doing a, I used to do sprints, and I can't finish this marathon as quickly as I finished my sprint, right? See, so that's the danger of perception, right? So
Mm.
again, if you had a small amount of stuff to do in the past, or things that were easier to do, and there was fewer things that were pulling at your attention, of course you got more done. Maybe you were by yourself more, or you were in an office more, or et cetera, right? So and of course there can be physiological elements to it as well. But if you can accept the fact that perception is something that affects how you feel about your day, then how we want to tackle this is by playing with your perception. Do you know what I
Okay.
mean by that?
No, not really.
Okay. So I'm going to teach you like a super simple little technique that you can use for this. Okay. It's something that I call 3.25 versus 3.5. It's it's a terrible title, but it's functional, right? And I'll explain what it means. So, as we've discussed before, when we've talked before, is whenever we give into an excuse, whenever we say I'm going to do something, and we don't do it, what happens is we feel bad about ourselves. We feel like we dropped the ball in some way, right? So let's say we said we were going to work, 10 hours, and we worked 7. Then our experience is, you know what? I hit that 7 and I gave up. Now I feel kind of terrible, right? So you're doing a sort of a psychological damage to yourself in a couple ways. First of all, you're telling your subconscious that I give into excuses, and it goes, okay, when certain excuses come up, we'll give up. Gotcha, and I'll try and direct you off path. And I lost my train of thought. So you're telling your subconscious that, but you're also having the same effect on yourself. So your subconscious will not believe you anymore, and then yourself as well. You doubt you're going to do it, because you know that when you hit a certain wall, then you give up, right?
Yeah.
Now, let's say that you said you were going to do 5 hours of work, and you got 5 hours done. How would you feel about that?
Well, I would feel great about that. I said I'm going to do 5 hours and I do 5 hours. I'm great with that because I accomplished my task.
Exactly. So you see already what the difference is. In one, you actually worked for 2 more hours, but because you didn't hit the target that you said you were going to hit, reality is you did 2 more hours of work, but your experience, your perception is, I didn't follow through. I fell short of what I said I was going to do. And the other one, where you said, I'm going to do 5 hours, and you did 5 hours.
Yeah.
Oh, right? Okay, now here's,
Yeah.
and I'm going to show you something a little bit extra. What happens if you say you're going to do 5 hours, and then you hit that 5 hours and went, you know what? I'm going to go another hour. So you not
Yeah.
only hit your goal, but you exceeded your goal. How does that feel?
Oh my God, that's to the roof.
Exactly. And in reality, again, you've still done less than the 7 hours. So the problems that we get into when we have these massive task lists is we set the goal to finish the entire task list, which is never going to happen. It's absolutely unreasonable. Most of the time it just can't be done. Like, I mean, we've got tasks that last us days sometimes. How are we going to finish it all in one day? And if there's a complication or something, we don't plan for these things going off path. Technical issues. This is one of my one of my main things. Technical issues.
That is,
Yeah. things go off path, and so your experience is, I have accomplished less, I have failed, right? Even when you literally accomplish more, your experience is you've accomplished less. So how you need to start to deal with your day, okay? The 3.25 versus 3.5 is basically, I made it 5 versus 7, 6 versus 7. So I did the same example. It's like if you make your target something you know you can accomplish, but it's a little bit of a challenge, then you can push through. If you set yourself a task which is nearly impossible to accomplish, you're going to constantly miss it, and you're going to feel like you failed, right? So what you need to do is you need to fill your day with a reasonable number of tasks. Like, let's say you've got 10 tasks to do, okay? What we do is, there's something I called one must, many shoulds. Okay? Now this is something that I developed because I had a friend she's a film producer, and she was so stressed out because she would get up in the morning and she would work till midnight, and her whole experience of her whole day is, I'm getting nothing done, blah blah blah, and she did it like 6-7 days a week, which is insane. But I mean, she wasn't as productive as she could be because her whole experience every single day is, I'm falling short, I'm falling short, I'm falling short, can't do this, oh my God, I got to do this tomorrow. And so she was like burning herself out, right? So when you do the one must, many shoulds, you look at your whole task list. I'm going to step back for a second. First of all, have you noticed when you've got a big task list that you get stressed, and you are stressed throughout the whole day?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh my God.
And have you
Yes.
noticed as well that when you're sitting and focusing on one of your tasks, all these other tasks keep going, hey man, don't forget me. Don't forget me. Right? Okay.
Exactly.
So the reason your brain is doing that is because your subconscious's job is to try to get to what you want. Its whole thing is, whatever Marie wants, then we're going to push her towards it in whatever way we think is best. And so anything that you have given it instructions is, this is important and I want it, it will interrupt you. There's a part of your brain called the reticular activating system, and its purpose is to break through wherever you are, wherever your mind is, and say, hey, there's an important thing happening and I want you to pay attention. That's what its job is. And it's really important because it saves you in a moment of danger. If like somebody's coming in and punching at your face from the side, you see it and you react instantly. Or if you're walking through a crowded room and somebody shouts your name, or just even says, oh, there's that girl that I know about, it's Marie, blah blah, and they say your name and you're like, what? I heard that, and it was a whole crowded room. That is your reticular activating system. Whatever you have told it is important. It will interrupt whatever you do, whatever you're doing, in order to remind you that it needs to be paid attention to. So, I'm willing to bet that if you look at your task list, not only is it big and impossible to finish, but I'm willing to bet that you have given the same priority level to every single thing on the task list, approximately. Would you say that's accurate?
Yes, John. Yeah.
Okay. So, given that, let's say you've marked 7 things at a priority level of 8 out of 10. Okay? That means if you're working on a task, you have told your reticular activating system there are 6 other things that you are allowed to interrupt me for. All these things are of equal priority, and if they ever feel like they're under threat or they're not going to get done, your job is to start interrupting me so that I can deal with the danger, I can deal with the threat, I can deal with this thing that I've told you is important, right? So what happens is, if you've got 7 things that are of level 8 out of 10, then throughout the day, no matter what you're doing, anytime you get distracted, anytime you take a breath, anytime, like even when you're trying to focus, this other stuff is going to be poke, and it's going to be maddening. So even when you do get the things done, you're going to have the feeling of your feelings, because remember, you don't remember reality, you remember your feelings about what was going on. And so your
Yeah.
feelings all day long are, I'm not getting stuff done, this is taking too long, oh my God, I'm not going to finish my task list, oh, this is terrible, oh, blah, blah, blah. And so that's your whole experience of the day, no matter what you actually accomplish. Pretty heavy,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
So, on the idea, because remember we talked about the 3.25 versus 3.5, right? So
Yeah.
to sort of explain what I mean when I'm saying that, it's the example I gave before out of 10, but it's like if you set a goal to hit 3 hours of work and you do 3.25, you're going to feel amazing. If you set a goal to do 4 hours of work and you hit 3.5, even though it's literally more, you feel like you fell short. Right? So what
Yeah.
you're going to do on one part is you're going to set up that structure repeatedly throughout your day. Okay? So you're not only going to aim for a goal that's a bit of a challenge, that you know you can do. It's always, every goal you need to set has to be something you can do, but requires a bit of pushing, right? That's what sort of is engage your mind and your body and make it a lot more fun, right?
Okay.
So it's something that's possible, you can accomplish, you're going to get something you want out of it. That's so important. And then when you actually complete it, if it was a little hard, then you push yourself just a little harder, and you're like, yeah, I did extra. I thought I could only do this. Because when we say we can do something, we say, okay, this is what I think I can do. I can do this. I can do this. Then once you hit it and you push yourself just a little further, your experience is now, wow, I broke past my limits. That's what I thought I could do, and I did this. Boom.
All right.
I feel amazing. Now imagine if you had that experience on every single task you worked on throughout the day. What would your day be like by the end of the day?
Wow. Accomplished.
And feel
Yeah.
great. You'd go to
Yeah.
bed jazzed. You would be like, you know what? I want to get some sleep so I can get up and do this again tomorrow. And it's like it's a
Yeah.
very, very different experience. And all you've done is you've shifted your perception, right? Because if you know for a fact that you don't see reality the way reality is, then shift how you're seeing it. Create different structures, create different mechanisms that allow you to perceive it differently, right? So
Right.
that's part of it. That's part of it. You've got that little 3.25 versus, so you hit your goal and then you exceed, hit your goal, exceed, hit your goal, exceed, hit your goal, exceed all throughout the day. Now the other part is that you have to learn to tell your reticular activating system what is priority and what is not priority.
Mm.
Okay? So when you look at your whole task list, you start, I prefer to do my task list the night before, because the night before I'm more optimistic. I will look at tomorrow and go, oh, of course I can get this stuff done. And I set things based on what needs to be done and what I care about, as opposed to what I feel like doing, which is what happens the next day. What is possible? You know. And so then if I do it the night before, I'm objective, and I'm very subjective if I do it the day of. So that's one thing. Now, once you've got your task list and you know what it is, so you want to have your pre-planned task list, and you got to let go of the idea that you got to get it all done, because that's ridiculous. It's like it's never going to happen, and you're just going to feel like a failure no matter what you accomplish. Okay?
Yeah,
so you
that's
say,
it.
these are the things that I'm going to take on. And what you do is you say that if everything was like level 8 priority, whatever, you say, what you do is you drop it down. If everything was a must, I must get this done today. It's so important. I have to get it done. Right? This is one must, many shoulds. It must get done. What you do is you say, I'm going to change everything on this list to, I should get it done. And I'm going to drop everything down to priority level 4. And you use your imagination. You just drop it. Like if you try it now, and if you actually look at something that's important, give me an example. What's something that you think is important that you need to get done tomorrow?
Okay, something that is important. I'm supposed to send off some emails.
Okay.
And that was on my list, and I was trying today, and trust me, it wasn't going through, and I am mad. I'm like, yeah.
It happens. So what I want you to do is visualize it. Take away, because right now, like even you talking about that, I could hear the stress as you talked about it. That tension in your voice. So
Yes.
what I'd like you to do is imagine it as you should get it done. Cool.
Oh, I should.
Or,
Yeah.
I should. It's not super important. It's a 4 out of 10. I should get it done. Does it change how you feel
Yeah.
about it?
Yeah, I should get it done. Yeah. Oh my God. I should, yes, I should get it done. Yeah, rather, yeah.
Okay.
Takes the
And
stress
see,
out of it.
that quickly, that's what happens. So I should get it done. You've dropped
Oh,
it down to a priority level 4 out of 10. And you do that with
oh
your
my
whole
God.
task list. Okay?
Mm.
And so for your whole task list, and so everything's like, I should. And what you do is when you start and you look at your first task, you go, okay, what is the most important thing? What is the, like, in reality, pragmatically, what's the most important thing? And what you do is you elevate that one task back up to level 8.
Mm.
So if there's only one thing in your brain that's important, is your brain going to interrupt you for the stuff that's not so important?
Is my brain going to interrupt me for?
The stuff that isn't important.
Oh, okay. Okay, understand. So
So
when
for
I stick to
example,
the one, yeah.
when you're uh, doing your work, are you constantly getting interrupted by, I wonder what the people next door are having for dinner?
I get interrupted by the noise because there's a gentleman beside me does windows, and then the lady next door, she has a bar and she plays her music loud. So sometimes when I'm concentrating,
Okay,
John,
so
sometimes I just want to get up and come home and just,
get a baseball bat and deal something. Yeah, sure. Okay, so one of the things that you've just listed as important to you is peace, because you feel if you're getting distracted, like if you've already got a stressful day and you're worried about getting things done, that extra distraction is now a threat to you getting things done,
right,
right?
exactly.
And so you react even more strongly to it, and your brain goes, that is a threat, that's important, deal with that threat. And so the thing that you could ignore if it wasn't important, now it interrupts you, right?
Right.
Because it's a domino of weird things our brains do. But let's get back to the other example. So let's pretend that it's not your neighbor. So when you're trying to do work, are you worried about what somebody is wearing for clothes 2 towns over?
No,
So what people are wearing, your brain doesn't interrupt you for that. It
no,
lets you focus on what's important to you.
yeah.
And that's how it works. Okay, it's not the best of examples, but it's just trying to clarify for you how your brain prioritizes things. So if you've only got one thing that you think is important, and everything else you've told your brain you visualize is just like a should, it will not interrupt you because it's not important. If any of them rise up to a level of importance, they'll start interrupting again, right? So when you're doing one task, you set very clear parameters on what you want to do with your task, right? So I'll send you these 4 points. There is, you want to have a finish line, you want to have rules, you want there to be enough of a challenge, and you want to know that you're going to get something out of it, right? When you have those 4 things, this is a sort of a closed loop that keeps you interested in doing something. So you have to create a whole bunch of little sort of closed loops through your day. And so you're going to, using that structure, just focus on little chunks of time. Another way to say it, without getting, because it might start sounding like there's a lot of information going on, a lot of different steps you have to do, and it's not. It's just, all you're doing is you're just creating a task, calling one task important, everything else is meh, whatever, and then having specific rules as to when you're finished that task. when you consider
Mm.
that task complete, right?
Okay.
And then when you get to the end of that task, and then you do that little bit extra, oh, okay,
Mm.
boom! I finished that first
Yeah.
task, and I didn't
Yeah.
just finish it, I exceeded that first task, and you just,
Yep.
it's like, so boom, you feel great, right? You weren't worried
Yeah.
about anything else, so you get to cross it off the list. And maybe the task is, this is a task that's going to take me 3 weeks, but I'm going to work on it 2 hours a day. 2 hours a day, 2 hours a day, 2 hours a day, 3 hours, whatever it is, right? So you have the, I hit my 2
Mm.
hours, and then you know what, I'm going to work in another 10 minutes, or I'm going to do one more action, or I'm going to make one more call, or I'm going to whatever. And so I'm, boom, I thought I could do 2, and I did 2 plus
Yes.
that little bit, right?
Yes, Ron.
And
I
so
have
now
this
what you
book,
do,
John, that I have to
go ahead.
read. Sorry.
Yep. No, 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 please, please, please. This is a
This book that I
two-person
have
thing.
to read, John. Oh my God. It's like it's jumbled in my head because every night, like we have Mondays and Thursdays, we have class. So then I have to read the book, and oh my God, I can't. I don't know. I can't read the book.
Well, how could you?
I read it.
How could you? Your brain's interrupting you constantly with other things that you feel are more important, I presume.
Yeah, and I spend most of my times at work. So when I write my list to go to work and do, oh my God, I just went
Mm-hmm.
go to work and I just look at what I'm supposed to do and it's
Mm-hmm.
just there,
Mm.
not being done.
Sure, 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 sure. So it's probably feels like an intrusion, would be my guess. It probably feels like just one more thing that I have to do, and I don't like it, and I don't want it,
Yeah,
right?
but I must.
Yeah. And so you see how heavy that sounds? I'm not even reading the book. I'm like, oh my God, I hate this book.
Oh, oh my God.
So
Oh my God.
when you come up to the time where it's time to read the book, if it really is important, then what you do is you elevate its importance level to a high level, but you make it a manageable amount. It's not, I have to finish the book, blah blah blah. It's like, you know what,
Right,
I'm gonna get through a chapter. How long is this chapter?
right.
It's 10 pages. I can do that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get through these 10 pages, and I'm gonna come up. You know what, I'm gonna get through these 10 pages, and I'm gonna come up with one really great idea out of these pages. Right, so it makes it a little more exciting. It's a little more something
Mm-hmm.
new, something, because now you're getting something of value from it, right? So if nothing else is important, and just reading those 10 pages or reading for 20 minutes or getting one great idea out of the book, because that's fun, then
Yeah.
suddenly the book's not heavy anymore, right? It's no longer this, oh my God, this is a task I don't really want to do, because as long as you've got that in your way, it's like, I'm not doing it. And you're going to resist and fight against it. Okay? So anytime you have a task, back to the one must, many shoulds, you finish that task, and then you drop that task you just finished and exceeded, remember? Like you didn't just hit the goal, you went past it. Could be 5 minutes
Yeah.
going past whatever. Feel amazing. Then you drop that down to level 4. Done. I don't pay attention to that anymore. And then you go, what's the next task? What do I have, how much time do I have left in my day? What else can I get done? You go back
The
again,
time.
right?
Yeah,
So
how
you want to
much
say, what
time?
can I do? And you go, and then you push yourself. You want it to be a bit of a challenge again, right? Because some days, like, I mean, you know, one task, you're like, I'm going to finish this one task. You thought it would take 2, it takes 6. Right? That like, I mean, so you can't get your other 12 hours of test done. It's not
Yeah.
something you can do, right? So you reevaluate repeatedly. You go, these are the things that are important. I exceeded that one, took a little longer, but I kicked some ass. Boom. It's level 4. What else can
Yeah.
I do? And you want it to be enough of a challenge. And then you take it on, and you complete that too. You want to make sure that every single one of these tasks you take on is something that you're going to complete. And then when you hit that completion, you want to exceed it a little bit. And then once you do that, you drop that down to level 4 and bring, what's the next one that I can do? And you bring that up to level 8, and then you take that on. And so every time you do these, you want to have this, I will finish this task. You want to know it's a task that stretches you a little, takes some effort, but that you can get it done. Because if you're about to take on a 9-hour task and you're about to go to bed in an hour and you think it's something you can't get done, but you certainly can go, you know what, I can work on this for another 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Right? I'm going to get a chunk of it done. And so your whole day goes like that. You elevate one thing up to level 8, everything else is a should, it's a level 4. One is a must, level 8. Everything else is a should, level 4. You finish that, you exceed it a little bit, you raise the next one up to level 8, up to the must.
Mm-hmm.
And then once you finish it, you do a little bit more, and then you look at what else can I get done? Okay, I can do this. I've got time for this, because a lot of stuff happens in our day. We get, it throws us off. It's like this gives you completion repeatedly and flexibility. So it gives you the room to dance with your day. So when you get to the end of your day, imagine if you had 10 tasks to do, but the rule isn't I have to finish all the tasks. The rule is I will finish any task that I start.
Right.
And so you finish 4 tasks and exceed what you thought you could do just by even just a little bit on 4 different tasks. How amazing is that going to feel by the end of the day?
Really amazing.
Right. And so it's as simple as that. And all you need to do is you just practice it. It takes a bit of practice, right? Because right now you are not trained mentally to just not engage with stuff. When your brain, because you're going to have some old habits, and so when your brain intrudes with certain ideas, you need to learn the skill of going, thank you, and then just not engaging with it.
Okay.
It's not about suppressing it. It's not about fighting against it. It's not trying to, it's just like, yeah, thank you. And then you just stay focused. It's a willingness not to dive into something else. Some kids are great at this, when you call their name. And it's like, they're totally willing not to hear their name, right? So it's a conscious.
But my daughter does that all the time to me, John.
I bet it drives you crazy.
Oh my God. I have to call her like 3-4 times and I'm like, do I hear me calling you? She's like, yes, Mom.
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
It shows you can do it. It's a willingness to not treat everything as important.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh my goodness, John. Trust me, John. I am so grateful.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
You break this down such to the grassroots. I mean, so little, so small that I totally get it.
That's really cool. I'm glad.
Days were so frustrated. I sat here looking at you, breaking things down. I'm like, oh my God, this deserves to be, be paid. Like, oh my God, this is a class, which I actually learned. Because I was so confused. Even today, I packed up earlier that I was going home. And the lady said to me, where are you going? I said, I'm just going home because I can't get anything done.
Sure.
My brain is like jumbled.
Yeah. Well, again, it's because your brain is interrupting you with all the equal priorities.
Right.
And how can you concentrate on anything if you just can't sit with something? Right? There's other exercises that we can do as well about, getting, into your parasympathetic nervous system, which is where you can think super clearly. Because the sympathetic nervous system, its job, again, is it's the stress part of your nervous system. It's the constant action. It's the intuitive one. It's the one that deals with fight, flight, and freeze. And so if you're spending all your time in there, like its job is to interrupt you. That's what it does. It's like, nope, this is important. Nope, that's a threat. Nope, fight that. Nope, kick ass. Nope, run away from that. And that's its job. So the parasympathetic nervous system is that place of calm. It's a place where the sympathetic nervous system goes quiet because they're not talking to each other, right? it doesn't intrude when you're in there because you're not dealing with threats. When you take these certain deep breaths, certain meditative state, it tells your brain that you're safe. And so all the triggers that come from the fight flight system go quiet, all those other things. The ideas may still come in, but they don't have the accompanying, and therefore you must act on it. But that's a lesson for another day that we can delve into. So for now, deal with one must, many shoulds, and I will send you. I've got a tutorial of it on YouTube. So if you need a refresher and a reminder, and you can always text me as well. Okay.
All right.
And yeah, that's really it. And so, how does it feel now that you, like, I can already hear a difference in your voice, but how do you feel?
Yes, John, I feel really good. So, when I'm doing my task and the brain chips in, I'm like, and just
Cool.
keep going.
Cool.
Yeah, one must, many should. So
That's right.
I
So
must
you
I
got
must
two things.
concentrate on one.
Right.
Right,
There's a 3.25 versus 3.5, and
right.
the one must, many shoulds, and they go together. Right. So it's playing with
Okay,
your perception.
okay.
Cool. All right, guys. I see some other people have joined us. So what we can do is, for the people who didn't get their issue dealt with today, we'll put you to the top of the priority list next week. And just make sure you arrive a couple minutes early, and then that makes sure that you get your whatever you're dealing with dealt with. Okay? Is everybody good?
Thank you, John. That was very
Thank you,
useful.
John.
Oh, it's my
Yeah,
pleasure.
thank you.
It's my pleasure. And we do this every single Wednesday. So no matter what your problem is, where you're getting stuck, we will give you techniques that are easy to learn and train and practice each day, and so you can break out of it and start to basically program your mind in the way that you want it to work, rather than have it, grab your attention and push you all over the place all the time. Okay? Have a fantastic night, guys. It's always a pleasure.
Thank you. Same to you, John.
All right.